Bring yourself as close to the wall as you can. Taking your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly, closing the eyes. Give a little wiggle out of the shoulders, get all those last little wiggles out. Drawing your attention inwards, feeling yourself arriving on your mat. Noticing the change in the belly and the chest as you breathe in deeply. And as you exhale and let go. So feeling the sensations in the body, noticing any sensations. Breathing in and out through the nose. And then seeing where you feel the sensation of the breath strongest. Is it that space between the upper lip and the tip of the nose where the cool air comes in? Is it in the back of the throat, in the nostrils, the base of the throat, the top of the chest, the ribs, or the belly? Take a look at each place and then step back and see where you can feel the breath sensation strongest. So wherever you feel the breath strongest, really focus your attention there. Feel the rise and fall of the breath, the flow of the breath in and out. Inhaling, accepting the new breath in. Exhale, releasing and letting go. Noticing all the parts of the body touching the wall, the cushion, the floor, your blanket, your clothes. Feeling all the sensations of the body. External, internal. Feeling any sensations in the legs, maybe some tingling in the feet, tingling in the legs as we have our legs elevated. So just looking and seeing without judging, without criticizing, without expecting. Just looking with compassion. Knowing that it's okay. Where we're at is where we're at. Present moment acceptance. Present moment awareness. Just taking a few more breaths here. But before we begin to stretch out a little bit more, find your resolve, your intention. Look deep within and look closely upon your intention. Focus your attention there. Look at it, see it definitely. And then repeat it to yourself 3 times. silently to your inner mind's eye. I am. Slowly opening up the eyes, taking the blocks from underneath your head, or your pillows, or your cushions, whatever you've used, and then taking yourself a little bit further away from the wall. So take a little wiggle backwards, and then taking your feet to the wall so that your legs are at a 90-degree angle. And then taking the figure of 4 with your left leg, pushing your knees, your left knee away, pushing the foot into the wall, squeeze into the right glute, then push that left knee away. Take cactus arms. So open up into the chest, flex the foot, that is your left foot, firmly. Push the knee away a little bit more. This is quite an active stretch. Three more breaths. Engage into the abdominal area, checking your pelvis is neutral. Then switching sides. So pushing the left foot into the wall. Figure of 4 with the right foot across the left thigh, just below the knee. Push that right knee away, flex the left foot. Engage into the left leg, that's the one pushing into the wall, into the glute, into the thigh. Neutral pelvis. Keep your cactus arms here. So pushing the arms into the floor, the back, so not allowing the rib cage to rise, push the back into the floor. Engage into the abdominals. Three more breaths. Really focus on the breath in and out through the nose. One more nice deep breath in. Exhale, slowly release. Taking yourself into happy baby now. So bringing your hands onto the outside of your feet, draw your knees down towards the floor. Feel a stretch into the hips, pull the knees back and away. But pulling the feet down as well towards the floor. Push the shoulders into the mat. Three more breaths here. And then coming back to the wall. So coming back to the wall with the legs. Going to do one foot into the left, your right foot into the left thigh. And then hold it here. Hands behind the head. So it's like a little half straddle, half butterfly. So it's like a half Baddha Konasana. Three more breaths. And then the other leg. So checking your bottom is touching the wall. Push the knee into the wall and the foot into the inner thigh. Clasp the hands behind the head, open up into the shoulders, into the chest. Push the back ribs into the floor, the lower back into the floor. And then releasing the legs. And then allowing the legs to straddle open, flexing the feet. Let's clasp our hands together, palms facing up to the ceiling. And then reach the arms alongside the ears. So palms overhead, arms along the floor. Let's hold it here for another 5 breaths. Really breathe into the hips, opening up into the legs. Then slowly bringing the arms back. Use your hands. Bring the legs together. And then rolling over. And pushing yourself a little further away from the wall again. So once again, the feet are into the wall. And the legs are at 90 degrees. Take your hands down into the floor, palms down. Shoulders pushing into the floor. Engage into the abdominals, into your pelvic floor as well. Take a nice deep breath in and start to tilt the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Start to lift the hips up. And then you can take your hands to support the lower back. Lifting into a supported bridge, so you're up onto your shoulders. Do not roll your head from side to side. Feel the rise and fall in the belly. Big breath in, exhale, hands down. Peel the spine back down to the floor. Let's do that one more time. So pushing the feet into the wall, engage into the abdominals, tilt the hips, start to push, push, push. Keep the legs parallel. Lifting the hips up. You can clasp the hands underneath you. So squeeze the shoulder blades together. Big breaths in and out. Really feel the belly rise and fall. 3 more breaths here. Keep those legs parallel. Exhale slowly. Release the hands back down to the floor. Roll down through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Keep the legs parallel. And release down. Roll over onto your side. Pushing yourself up. Away goes the blanket for now. So taking your bolster, cushion if you have it, or using your rolled up mat if you need it to place the heels onto something to elevate them. Going to come down to a squat. Place the hands down to the floor. And then lifting the hips up. Extending the legs. Big breath in. Exhale, drop the hips down. Lift the chest and gaze. Exhale, lift the hips up. Big breath in. Exhale, release the hips down. Lift the chest and gaze. Keep the hands pressing down into the floor. Lift the hips up. Big breath in. Excuse me. Exhale, hips down. Now if you want to take your whatever you use to elevate the the heels away, then take that away now and see how you feel. So I can't do this with my heels down, so it's really tricky for me. It's just the way my legs and knees are. So have a go and see how you feel. Lift the hips up and once more come back down. Coming into a yogi squat. I'm going to take my socks off. So remember to keep your body temperature right. Start getting warm and hot. So coming into your yogi squat with the heels lifted or the heels down, you choose. Chest lifts, heart lifts, pushing the knees away with the elbows. And then having a go, taking a squat against the wall. So sliding back down against the wall. Again, see if you need to elevate the heels. Push the knees away with the elbows. Nice, strong, steady breaths. Slowly release the knees, come down onto your knees, facing the wall. Starting to get warm now. Popping jumpers on and socks on later when we relax. So camel pose, tucking the toes, taking the thighs to the wall. So pushing the hips into the wall, thighs into the wall. Check your knees are hip distance apart. Taking the heels of the hands into the lower back. Push the hips forwards. Taking a nice deep breath in to lift the chest and gaze. Keeping the thighs and hips contacted with the wall, in contact with the wall. Breathe deeply. Big breath in to come up. Couple of options. Have a go with the arms alongside the legs. Keep pushing the hips forwards. Open up into the chest. Drive the hips forwards. Take 3 breaths. Inhale, come up. Taking the hands onto the heels. Coming into more of a full camel pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Open up into the chest. Drive the hips forwards, legs into the wall. Three more breaths. Inhaling to come up. Taking yourself down just to counter pose. So take yourself away from the wall now. Keep the toes tucked under. Take the hold of the heels with the hands. Drop the head down towards the knees. Chin to chest. Big breath in. Lift the hips up. So you'll be pulling strongly against the feet. You'll feel a stretch across the shoulder blades. This is your rabbit pose. 3 breaths. Scoop the belly up. And release. Coming down into little Balasana, child's pose. Allowing the shoulders to roll forwards. Inhaling, coming up. taking ourselves into what we call hangman. Sounds ominous. Head down against the wall. Legs together. Bring your hands up against the wall. Start to walk the hands up the wall slowly. Reach up as high as you can. Then release the head down. Hang the head heavy. So you're reaching your fingertips as high up as you can go. Three more breaths here. Inhaling to look up, then walk the hands down, slide the hands down nice and gently. Make a little pillow for your head, just for a couple of breaths. And then bringing your hands by the lower ribs. Hug the elbows in, legs together. Inhale, start to peel the chest off. But keeping the thighs connected with the floor, so not lifting the hips off. Keep your hips off. Your arms may straighten, they might not. And come back down. Take another one of those. Inhaling, keep the legs together. Inhale, lift to lift. Look up to the ceiling, up to the sky. Three more breaths. Exhale, tabletop, extended child's pose. Drop the head to the floor. Reach the fingertips forwards. You can separate the knees, feet together. Spread the fingers wide. Big deep breaths in and out. Take a big breath in. Coming back down onto your tummies. Going to take a little locust and then a bow. So reaching the arms away. Looking down to your mat. Palms are facing up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take a big breath in. Lifting the legs. Lifting the arms. Keep looking down to the floor. 5, 4, lift a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Release down, make a little pillow for your head. And then we're going to grab our feet from behind. We're going to come into your full bow. And then we're going to see if we can roll over onto our side and take a bow on the side. So make sure you have space to go over to the side. So starting on your stomachs, reaching the hands back, clasping hold of the ankles, flex the feet. Draw the legs together, hip distance apart, although you can't see them, just feel that sensation so that the legs are not splayed apart, they're still parallel. Draw the shoulder blades together, open up into the chest, big breath in. Start to push into the hands, lifting the chest, lifting the feet. And if you want to, take a little rock and roll. From here, this is a little bit of fun, is to roll over onto one side, keeping your bow, then looking up to the ceiling. Three more breaths. Back to center. So you have to get a little bit of momentum going. Over to the other side. Look up to the ceiling. So keeping the legs parallel-ish with each other. Just keep pushing the feet into the hands into the feet. Big breath in. Back to center. A little bow in the middle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down. Cactus the arms. Separate the legs a little bit. Roll the heels in. Hold the, just drop the head to the floor and just hold here for a few breaths. Okay, coming back up. Using a stool or the edge of your sofa, anything that you have to hand. I'm going to grab my piano stool. You also need your strap for this next little bit. So taking your strap, make a little loop at the end of your strap. You can pad up under the knees. So take your blankie. Why not? Be comfortable in these stretches as much as possible. So taking yourself onto your knees, take your strap onto your right foot, holding the strap in the left hand. Your right hand, right foot, sorry. Taking your left hand onto your stool. Bring your knee forwards, put your elbow onto there, and then the other elbow on. Start to lift, pulling on your strap, lifting the right leg up. So balancing on your elbows, leaning on your elbows for support to lift the leg. You can also rest your head onto your stool, onto your sofa. Lift that leg as high as you can. So pulling on the strap, keeping your legs parallel with each other so they're not twisting to the side. 5 more breaths. Big breath in. Exhale slowly. Release, holding the hold onto the strap to lower the leg down. Going over to the other side. So as you can see, a little bit of a theme going on here. We're working into the back. So we're doing plenty of back bending today. So other side. So first coming on to the forearm with the right arm, so that you can set yourselves up with balance. Then both elbows can be on the stool. So setting up your right leg, that's your balancing leg. Lifting the foot, the left foot up towards the ceiling. Pulling on your strap, so walk your hands down your strap. So don't let the knee go out to the side. Your thighs are still running parallel with each other. The hips are not twisting. Another 5 breaths. Lift the leg a little higher. Pull on the strap a little bit more. 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing down, releasing the strap. Knee comes down. Take the strap off. So now we're going to go back to the wall. Keep the stool to the side. Take some padding for the knees. And take your blocks with you. So we're going to first start with our quad stretch. So there's a blocks to the back against the wall. You're going to take your knee onto the blocks. So take 2 blocks. So working into the hip. So we're going to pigeon the left leg, working our way down. So you've got your left leg folded underneath you like a pigeon pose. Hips facing down and forwards. Then fold down onto the elbows or onto a cushion. Push the right hip down. Just trying to push it down, down, down. Three more breaths. Then inhaling, coming up. Push into the hands and step the left foot underneath. And so we're going to take a little lunge here. So hands on the floor. You still have your knees on the block. Push that hip forwards, this hip down and forwards. Hands on the inside of your left foot. Good, intense, fairly intense stretch on the legs now. Three more breaths. And then slowly bring the left leg back down. Now take your knees off, your back knee off the block and place it on the floor. Have some padding for the top of the foot now, because we're going to do the full quad stretch where we take our back to the wall. If you need a little cushion or something to soften the pressure against the foot hitting the wall. Maybe it's just me and I have bony feet. So first, step the left foot forwards. Give a little help with the hand. And stay in a lunge position to start. So driving the hips forwards. And then starting to push yourself up. Hands onto the right thigh. So you're pushing your buttock towards that heel. Very slowly taking the chest back, maybe the shoulders, reaching the arms back, shoulders back to the wall. Now maybe you can also push your lower back towards the wall. Just go to where you feel most comfortable. Be careful with the knees. It shouldn't hurt. If it starts to hurt, then back away and go, say, this far or however far you can go. But do not create pain in the body. This is not about pain. We're simply stretching. But breathe deeply. Arms to the wall. 5 breaths. Focus on the exhale, releasing. And over to the other side. So first we need to set up the left knee on 2 blocks in lizard. So 2 blocks, left knee on the blocks, shin against the wall, lizard with the right leg, the right shin. Hips face forwards, not twisting to the sides. So facing forwards with the hips and then folding down over the front leg. You can lift your right foot up as high as you can feel comfortable with. Make a little pillow for your head. Stay here for 10 breaths. Five more. Coming up, taking ourselves into a lunge position, push into the hands, step the right foot forwards. So working into that lunge position, so driving the hips down, hands on the inside of the right foot. So pushing the hips as close down towards the floor as you can, so really pushing them, driving them down. Five more breaths. Okay, taking yourself off your blocks now, and take this quad stretch now. So blocks away. So it's the turn the other leg against the wall, pad up under the foot, top of the foot, knee to the skirting board as close as possible. If you need to take it slightly away, take it slightly away, but as close as you can. I'm using my blanket here to pad up the kneecap. So stepping your right foot forwards now, hands on the thigh, lifting the chest. So checking you're facing forwards with the hips, you're not going off, veering off to the sides. Everything is running parallel. So work into this slowly. You might find one side harder than the other. Work with where you are. Reaching the hands back to the wall, pushing the shoulders to the wall. Deep breaths. Hold it there for 5 counts. Strong breaths. Exhaling, releasing. Make the exhales longer than the inhales. So you can inhale for 4, exhale for 8. Inhale 4, exhale 8. So those exhales really help us to access a little deeper, press deeper into the stretches. So taking yourself away from the wall now. Extend the legs, give them just a little breather, a little shake out. Taking your blocks, elbows on the blocks, and your hips over your knees, and your hips, your knees hip distance apart. So it might take a couple of goes to get the blocks in the right position. What we're doing is we're taking the elbows to the blocks, bringing the palms of the hands together, and reaching the fingertips backwards down towards your bottom. Scoop the belly up. Three deep breaths. Release your reverse prayer if you like. It's like a reverse prayer behind. Slowly coming up, taking a puppy dog pose. So this time, reaching the hands forwards onto the floor. And you can send your hips forwards of your knees. So reaching the chest down towards the floor. Reach the hands away, working into the shoulders. It's like you're trying to bring your chest down to the floor. Depending on how you feel, you can go into your chin, look between the hands. That's if your arms are completely down onto the floor and it feels okay for your neck. 3 more breaths. Scoop the belly up. 1 more big breath in and out. Inhaling, lifting the chest. Walk your hands back. Okay, working into a little bit more into this area now. Don't know about you, but I'm feeling quite hot. So stretching can really stimulate the blood flow, all of the systems in the body. So although it's relaxing, it's still having to work. These are quite, they're quite intense stretches. So I'm going to take a block. I'm going to give this a little whirl. A little stretch into our thoracic spine. We're going to have the legs at not the feet fairly far away from the buttocks, so the legs are bent, feet hip distance apart. You're going to take your block between your shoulder blades. So here. You're going to lean back onto your block. So you'll need your block to be at a little bit of an angle so that this flat edge is here onto your back. I've got a cork block, so my blocks are quite rigid. And if you have a foam block, this will feel a little bit softer for you. And then we're going to reach the arms back. Reach, reach, reach. Inhaling to come up. Reset if you need to, and then we're going to do that one more time. So find that spot between the shoulder blades. Open up into the chest. So you'll need a little bit of balance going on here. You have to engage into the abdominal area, into the hips, into the glutes, checking that everything stays nice and stable as you reach the arms back. Three more breaths. Inhaling, take your hands onto your legs. Whew. Come off the block. Rolling down onto your back. Bring the heels really close to the buttocks. Grabbing hold of the ankles, or hold the backs of the ankles, or if you can, even slightly round towards the front of the ankles. Start to peeling the spine off. Roll the shoulders together, so wiggle the shoulders together. Coming up into your bridge. Thighs parallel. Squeeze into the glutes. Exhale, roll down. Doing that one more time. See if you can get the heels a little bit closer. And holding the fronts of the ankles Getting a bit more of a lift in the hips, drive the hips up, squeeze those legs towards each other. Keeping the feet parallel, legs parallel. Rise and fall in the belly. Three deep breaths in and out. One more big breath in. Exhale, rolling down. Hug the knees to chest, little rock and roll, side to side. Now I'm going to offer you something to try out. Is taking what they call noodle, wet noodle, over a stool. If you don't fancy doing that, then you can take yourself into bridge with a block underneath the sacrum. So it's done like this. So take your block, feet in the usual bridge position, close to the buttocks, hip distance apart, lift the hips up, place your block underneath the sacrum. So find that flat bony plate area and hold here. Or you can reach your arms overhead, take your cactus arms and hold like this. So that's option number one. Option number two is to do something a little bit more intense. Is taking your stool and lower it down just a little bit. Or if you have a Swiss ball, even better. You're going to drape yourself over your stool or your Swiss ball with some padding, just to soften any hard edges. Going to drape yourself down over your stool, reaching the legs away and the arms down to the floor. Now, if you need to come back up, because there's some hard part on your stool, then put a cushion. I'm going to put a cushion because the blanket wasn't enough. So this is like taking a full wheel, but fully supported. So reaching the arms down towards the floor. Relax as much as is possible. It's hard to talk upside down. Let's hold it here for 10 breaths. You can clasp opposite elbows. Five more breaths. Two more. Slowly, slowly bring yourself up off your stool. So that's called wet noodle over a stool. Supta Virasana next. So taking yourself into hero's pose. So if you need a cushion to sit on to start with, then take a cushion to begin. Have a pillow behind or a rolled up blanket. You can create a bolster pretty much with a blanket if you want to be a little bit creative. So create your own bolster if you don't have one. So roll up your blanket and then you can lie with that. So your back lies down onto a nice soft landing. I have my bolster behind me already. So setting the feet up so that they're outside of the buttocks. Move any fleshiness of the calves aside, so you can push those aside just to create space for the knees. So we're going to slowly work ourselves down and back. The aim is to keep the knees onto the floor if possible. Reaching the arms, clasping the hands overhead. I'm going to take my cushion out from underneath my bottom because it's lifting my hips up a little bit too much. So I'm going to go down so I can get my bottom a little bit lower down and my back pushing onto my bolster. Supta Virasana. Breathing into the knees and legs, into the hips. Opening up into the chest. If you feel any pain in your knees, then come out of it. So staying there for at least 10 breaths. 10 breaths. I'm going to stretch out my one leg. You stay there. 5 more breaths. When you're ready, pushing into the elbows, then pushing into the hands where the elbows were. So listen to the feedback in your body. And if anything starts to feel like it's burning or tightening, then listen. Extend the legs. Place a cushion just by the knees. Reaching the arms up and then taking the elbows down onto your cushion. Wriggling the elbows forwards and then reaching the fingertips away. So they're pointing down the opposite direction of the feet. Flex the feet firmly towards you. Scooping the belly up, hinging from the hip creases. Let's hold it here for 10 long, steady breaths. Focusing on a long exhale. Squeeze the thighs a little bit. Scoop the belly up. Navel to spine. Squeeze the thighs a little bit more. As you do that, you should be able to feel as though you get a release in the back of the legs. 5 more breaths. Long exhales, releasing. Breathe into that space, into the hamstrings. Give the legs another squeeze, the thighs a squeeze. Scoop the belly up again, navel to spine. Don't let it go. 2 more breaths. Inhaling, exhaling, and releasing. So, where are we at for time? That was about an hour. We're going to go a little bit further, do a little bit more into the legs, and then we'll take a relaxation. So, let's take ourselves into a lizard pose with our feet on a block. So right foot forwards, stepping your foot onto a block. So pad up under the left leg if you want to with your blanket. So sliding the left leg back. Have a little turn out, like 45 degrees on the right foot. Taking your cushion or your bolster if you need to lean your elbows down onto rather than the floor. Making a nice pillow for the elbows. Working deeply into the hips, pushing the hips down towards the mat. Three more breaths. Slowly coming up. Take yourself into your pigeon pose. So taking a block or a cushion underneath the right hip, have your strap ready to help you with royal one-legged pigeon. So heel toeing the right foot across to the left, bringing the right buttock, hip supported underneath on to the block. You're pointing the left leg directly back, sitting up nice and tall, straight back, hips forwards. So you're not going to the sides. Really check the hips are pointing forwards completely, and then folding down forwards. Again, onto your cushion, onto the hands. Make a pillow for the hands if you want. Breathing deeply here. Three more breaths. Inhaling to come up or to stay down, your choice. But taking a strap around the left foot. Facing forwards again. Then reaching, if you want to have a little go at a modified version, you pull on that strap with your right hand and hook the foot into the crook of the left elbow. You can wiggle the right foot in a bit closer. So from here, so we've got the crook, the elbow to support the back foot. Reaching the right hand behind the head. See if you can grab hold of your hand, lift the head, lift the chest. You can look to the side. Pushing your left hip down towards the mat. 3 more breaths. And slowly release. And then just for a moment, keep hold of your strap. Reset yourself so that you're facing more forwards. And then walking your hands down the strap. Check you have your foot firmly hooked onto your loop of your strap so it doesn't ping off. So walking the hands down the strap towards the foot. Looking forwards. A little bend in the back, look up to the sky. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release the strap. Over to the other side. So starting with lizard on your block. Left foot forwards, right leg extended. So there's a really intense amount of action that's happened today in our backs. So you will feel you've worked into the lower back area and into, well, I think the whole spine. In fact, when we did the wet noodle, when we've done our reaches up the wall, we've done our camels, we've done our bridges, and then these, we definitely feel that in the lower back. Left foot forwards. Little turn out to the foot. Slide the right leg away. Have your cushion or another block, something for your elbows if the elbows don't reach down to the floor. Let the head hang heavy, no tension in the head, in the neck, in the face, in the jaw. Check you're not tensing up in any way. 5 more breaths. Long exhales. Inhaling to come up. Coming into lizard. No, sorry, pigeon. We've just done lizard. Taking your block to support underneath the right hip if you need to. Only if you need to. Then folding down forwards. Lift that left foot up as high as you can, but without any pain in the left knee. Check the hips are facing down towards the floor. You're not rolling out to one side or the other. It's kind of why I'm pushing this hip up so I don't drop that hip down. So I'm keeping my hips as level as I can. Making a kind pillow for your head. Close the eyes, keep the focus and attention inwards. Another 3 deep breaths. And then remaining where you are, if you wish to, or taking yourself into those 2 little variations of one-legged royal pigeon. So I'm facing away from you, unfortunately. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to turn around. So you still have your block underneath your left buttock. So I'm going to turn around so I don't turn my back to you. So hooking the strap around the foot, bringing the foot in. So you can bring that left foot in a little bit more. Bringing the left hand across to the strap, pull it in, hold it in place so that then you can find your foot, your toes in the crook of the into the crook of the elbow, the inner crook of the elbow. Hold it there. Then reaching the left arm up behind the head, and then to clasp the fingers. Open the chest, look to the side. Drive that left hip down. Sorry, the right hip down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release. About 10 minutes. Questions from the children. When do you finish? I don't know. So, facing forwards, back to your pigeon. Oops. Making sure you have that block supporting the hip if you need it. The left hip. Walking the hands down your strap. Lifting the chest, lift the gaze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly releasing your strap. And stay on your block. Seated. Straddle the legs. And just take a little forward fold with straddle legs before we relax. Just taking your things to land on, cushions, bolsters. Flex the feet. Reach the arms up. Hinge from your hip creases, tilting forwards, 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 forwards. Belly lands onto those cushions. Reach forwards. Take the palms of the hands facing up. Drop the head down towards the cushions. Let the head hang heavy. Pad up as much as you need to be comfortable. Five more breaths. Slowly coming up, maybe take a cushion away. Reach to the feet. 5 breaths. Inhaling, coming up. Bringing the feet together. Stay on your block. So bring the feet nice and close towards your block. Hinging forwards, opening up into the hips. One last little stretch. If your elbows can come down to the floor, elbows down to the floor, palms facing it. 5 more breaths. Inhaling to come up. Pop your socks back on, your jumpers back on. Time to lie down. So, making sure you don't get cold. I haven't turned my heating on yet. Resisting a little bit. The underfloor, I've got some underfloor heating on in the kitchen and the conservatory and the hallway, but the radiators are still off. They can stay off as long as possible. I don't particularly like the sensation of the sort of dry air that you get, stuffiness, so I'd rather put on some more layers. Right, Supta Baddha Konasana. So lying on a blanket, using your blocks to support the knees. However, if this is not your preferred relaxation position, then take the legs straight and support the legs with the blocks or some cushions. Supta Baddha Konasana, feet together, and then propping your blocks. It's kind of at a tilted angle towards the legs so they can support the knees. So there's not a tremendous pressure on the hips. So having a cushion for underneath the head. Got the blanket underneath the back so it's nice and soft. Taking the hands to rest on the belly with the fingertips touching. Close the eyes. And do a little pillow breath, just a few breaths in and out. So I'd like you to breathe in deeply through the nose and really feel the belly rise and fill with air. Hold. Exhale, release. Empty the breath out fully. Hold. Inhale deeply. Pillow breath. So ballooning the belly. You'll feel the fingertips separate. Now feeling the lungs expand as well as the belly. When you feel you cannot breathe in any more air, hold it for a few seconds. And then exhale. Empty the lungs, deflate the chest, deflate the belly. It's like you're trying to scoop the belly in. Let's do that 3 or 4 more times in your own time. So inhaling deeply, fill the chest, fill the belly, feel as though the whole torso is filling. Breathing in, in. Hold at the top when you're ready. And then empty the breath out fully. Really squeeze all of the last bits of breath out. 2 more times. One more. Exhaling, empty the lungs fully. And then just let the breath go back to its natural rhythm without forcing. Gently in and out. Feel that softness of the breath, soft and gentle, soft and soothing, soft and relaxing. And scanning the whole body, head to toe. Do you feel any tightness or any clinging on anywhere? So check the arms, relax the arms, sink the arms fully, the shoulders into the floor. Checking the back, upper back, lower back, feel them sinking into your soft cushioning blanket. Imprinting your back into the floor. Your shoulders, the elbows, the hips, buttocks, relaxing into the floor, heavy, relaxing. Relaxing the muscles of the throat, the back of the neck, the scalp, smoothing out the forehead, the cheeks, the skin around the eyes, the muscles around the lips, and clenching the jaw, tongue resting heavy, eyes resting heavy. Feeling the cool flow of the breath gently in and out through the nostrils. Relaxing into the legs, allowing them to sink into the floor or sink into the blocks. Fully, fully relaxed. Allowing the whole body to just be heavy, sinking, melting, imprinting itself into your mat, into your blanket. Observing your breath gently in and out, soft and soothing. And then allowing yourself to hear the sounds, the vibrations of my bowl. Feel them wash over you. Or maybe feel the vibrations join with your vibrations. Slowly bringing your awareness back to the space in the room. Taking your legs off your blocks, if you had your legs on your blocks, and stretching out, lengthening the legs, maybe stretching the arms overhead. Give yourselves a lovely stretch along the floor. Keeping the eyes closed. Gently rolling over onto your right side. And then coming up to a cross-legged seated position when you're ready. Growing the spine tall and long, reaching the crown of the head up to the sky. So feel that lengthening in the spine. Shoulders away from the ears. And squeezing the shoulder blades gently together just a moment. Opening up the chest, opening up the heart, and then soften. Rubbing the hands together, warming up the hands. Give them a vigorous rub together. And then placing the hands over the face. Giving your temples a gentle rub and massage, so rubbing across the brow, the temples, the cheeks, into the jaw. And then taking the fingertips to touch at the top of the head, dragging the fingers down the scalp. So starting at the front of the hairline, working your way, fingertips down over the head. And then like you're drawing a line down the center of the head, working your way backwards down towards the nape of the neck, drawing the fingertips down and across the scalp. Then a little press into the nape of the neck, that point where you can feel that bone sticking out of your vertebra at the base of the skull. Pressing that in, maybe a little nod of the head, forwards and backwards. Little turn of the head, side to side. Little squeeze into the neck, shoulders, to the arms, forearms. Squeezing into the base of the thumb with the other hand. Then taking your hands together, pressing the palms of the hands together, fingertips to touch, thumbs to touch. Atmanjali Mudra. Taking your hands to your heart center. And then giving thanks to yourself and generating gratitude and kindness to yourself, to your time you've spent this morning, stretching into your body, relaxing, letting go. The light in me honors the light in you, friends. Have a wonderful, wonderful, restful Sunday. And I'll see you tomorrow for some rocket. So take care, everyone. Namaste. Bye, everybody. Have a lovely Sunday. Take care. Bye.